Hi everyone, this is Migs from PH, and today we have a detailed review on the Adidas Trae Young 1. Before we get started, if you do like the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then I'll also be leaving a link to the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group in the description box, so I do hope you can join us over there because that is a place where we talk about sneakers and basketball quite a bit. And it's also where we have the SNBPH Steel Cabinet, where I take some shoes that I no longer use, or some shoes that I've reviewed in the past, and put them up for bidding at way below market value. Then if you haven't already yet, I do hope you can sub to the channel because it really does help us out quite a lot. Then with that being said, let's now take a look at the Adidas Trae Young 1 in the Icee colorway. The Adidas Trae Young 1, as you can tell from the name, is Trae Young's first ever signature shoe, but he has been with Adidas ever since his rookie season, but he was using other shoes, mainly the Next Levels, and he actually was kind of like the poster child or the main ambassador of the Next Level shoes from Adidas, and I think he really did like the setup of those shoes, and that's evident with his first ever signature shoe, because upon looking at these up close, it did share a lot of similarities with the Next Levels, which in my opinion is actually a really good thing, because the Next Levels, even though they were like, laceless basketball shoes, were actually super solid on-court performers. I initially really wasn't sure about this shoe because when I saw it on the internet and on Trae Young's feet, it kinda did look suspect. I was like, where are the laces? There's only 2 eyelets. It also has a super low cut as well. And overall, the shape is just a little bit weird and a little wonky looking. But after getting them in hand, I'm definitely excited to go and performance test these. Because even from an initial impressions point of view, there's definitely a lot to like about the Trae Young 1. I also do give the Adidas team behind the Trae Young 1 a lot of credit because they did go all out with his first signature shoe, because everything does seem so personalized to fit Trae Young, like even the themes of the shoe. Like you have the Icee colorway with the sort of pink to blue gradient, you have the Icee colorway which is his nickname, and you also have those 2 So-So Def colorways, which is definitely a nod to the city of Atlanta where he plays. You also actually have a pretty cool box because, I was expecting like a normal Adidas box, but it actually feels like Trae Young is getting the same treatment as Donovan Mitchell has with his Marvel-inspired shoes, because they really did make the box really unique and stand out. It is a mostly white box and it does feel super sturdy, but the best part about it is that text that says "Always remember" when they doubted you. You also have Trae Young's signature there, and this is definitely the theme of Trae Young because he always was looked at as someone who was like undersized, because they do list him at 6 feet flat, but I guess he's closer to like 5'11", and he doesn't seem like he has a lot of weight to him as well. But he has definitely proven his doubters wrong, including me, because as of right now, he is definitely one of the brightest young stars the NBA has. So going back to the shoe, like I said, it shares a lot of DNA to the Next Levels, and it's also a potential beast on court in my opinion because of all of its tech features and its overall design. So to see why, let's take a look at the tech specs. So starting off with the traction, the Adidas Trae Young 1 does have a solid rubber outsole with this very aggressive herringbone pattern here at the forefoot, horizontal lines here at the midfoot, and a radial pattern here at the heel. The rubber does feel super tacky and the grooves are also really aggressive all throughout, and I definitely think this could be one of the best features on the shoe because just trying it out here on my wood floors, it was just biting really well, and I didn't really expect anything less because aggressive herringbone as well as radial traction are both tried and true traction patterns that work really well. The grooves on the outsole are also pretty thick and pretty deep, so I do feel like the durability of the traction will actually be pretty good. Then moving on to the cushion, I was actually pleasantly surprised with how this felt because I know that it does have a full-length light strike midsole as well as boost in the heel, but when I did see these in pictures, it did seem like a very low-profile shoe, so I was kind of concerned if they thinned it out too much that we couldn't feel the light strike, but luckily I think they did have the right thickness of light strike because the cushion does feel really nice underfoot. The light strike foam that does go full length does actually feel a little bit similar to the Dame 6 and the Dame 7, as well as the Next Level 2020. It isn't exactly the same in terms of like the feeling of bounciness and the plushness as those 3 shoes, but it definitely is, in my opinion, pretty close. Then just to add a little bit more impact protection, you actually have a pretty thick boost puck here at the heel. Initially, I really wasn't sure how this boost would help the overall feel of the shoe, but you can definitely feel it even if you just rock back and forth. And if you are a heavy heel striker or someone who likes rolling into their shot like Trae Young does, then this extra boost here at the heel will definitely help. Overall, the cushion does feel very smooth, pretty light, and pretty low to the ground, while still giving you a bit of plushness, some good impact protection, and some really nice bounce back, especially here at the heel. Then moving on to the materials, this is where you kinda see them cost cutting, because even though these aren't as cheap as Donovan Mitchell's signature shoes, they are still relatively affordable, especially when you compare it to other shoes in Adidas's lineup. Given that it is at that lower end of signature shoes in terms of price, the upper is just basically a one-piece textile, and this textile does feel a little bit stiff right out of the box, but it definitely does seem like it'll get softer the more that you wear it. It also does have this sort of hexagonal pattern all throughout, and I think this is just for more durability. But you know, overall this textile, though it isn't anything premium or anything to write home about, I still think it'll do its job pretty well on court. We also do have some other materials though, like this nylon on the pull tabs on the tongue and heel, as well as those loops that serve as the eyelets. You also have a nice and adequately padded textile sock liner, and the biggest surprise for me in terms of the materials is that you actually have some suede overlays, which does in fact use actual suede. The cuts of suede are definitely not the thickest in the world, but it's definitely surprising that there is even suede on the shoe to begin with, and overall I think they did put liberal amounts of it because you do have it here at the toe, you have a bit of it here on the lateral side, you have it here on the lace vamp, here at the eyelets, and you also have it here at the heel tab. Then moving on to fit and sizing, I did go through to size with the Trae Young one, and it fits me perfectly well. The fit is really good all throughout the shoe because there isn't much dead space anywhere, and you also feel surprisingly locked in even though you only have 2 rows of eyelets. This is where I really see the similarity between these and the next levels, because the next levels didn't have laces, and it just might be that Trae Young isn't a fan of laces because his first signature shoe just has 2 rows of eyelets, and the laces don't really do anything because this is a one booty upper and it does kind of give most of the lockdown on the shoe. But I can't really complain because even though it looks weird and it feels weird, it fits really well and it locks you in. One more thing, given that it is a one booty upper, it also doesn't have any bungees or any stretchy material, so it is a bit challenging to get your foot in the shoe. So for my recommendation on the sizing, if you do have a narrow foot or a normal width foot, go through the size. Then if you have a wide foot, I would recommend going up half a size, or maybe even a full size up, because like I said, it's not really that easy to get your foot in the shoe. Then for the aesthetic details, the Trae Young one actually has a good balance of a little bit of branding, a few details, but also overall just looking pretty clean. So for the outsole, you do have white solid rubber all throughout, with a bit of light strike peeking through here at the midfoot, and a cutout here at the heel where you can see the boost. Then you also have these cuts or flex grooves here on the outsole, which is a bit similar to the feet you wear system. And lastly, you do have your Adidas 3 stripes here at the ball of the foot with a sort of light cotton candy blue. Then moving on to the midsole, both the light strike and boost are white, but you do have your Adidas 3 stripes on the lateral side in this pink. Then you also have light strike and boost branding here at the heel, and on the medial side of the forefoot, you have Always Remember in script. Then moving on to the upper, that textile does have this super nice pink to blue gradient, and it just looks really nice with that smooth gradient fade, and just that overall cotton candy or icy vibe with that pink and blue. Then for the suede overlays, they are in gray, and for the nylon pull tabs, they're white. And I think having those neutral colors on the overlays does really well for the shoe, because I think as it is, the upper already has enough color. Then for the smaller details, you do have an Icee here at the heel tab. You have Trae Young signature on one side of the heel tab as well, and on the other side, it says Adidas Basketball, Rayford Trae Young Signature Series. Then for the pull tab here at the tongue, at the back you have the Adidas 3 stripes. Then on the other side, you do have your Trae Young logo, which is a T and a Y. But when you tilt it a bit, it actually has an A, which I think is for Atlanta. For the laces, they are also pink with blue aglets. And you actually get an extra pair of laces, which are also pink, but they are of the rounded lace variety, and they also come with pink and blue lace locks. Then for the overall aesthetics, I do like how the shoe looks in terms of color and the overlays and whatnot, but the only thing in terms of the aesthetics I don't like is the overall shape of the shoe. It does have a very new school Adidas kind of look, which means it's a little bit long looking, it's a little chunky looking here at the midfoot, and the cut also looks super low. Those don't really give you any issues in terms of the performance. Actually, they kind of enhance the performance. But in terms of the looks, it does look like a super low and a super long shoe. And that could also be because you only have 2 rows of eyelets, so it kind of looks like the shoe is like way big, even though it fits through the size. So overall for me, I think the shape is a no-go, but the colorway is super sick. And actually all of the 5 colorways that were unveiled are really nice. Then moving on to the price, the Trae Young 1 retails for 6,500 pesos here in the Philippines, or $140 US. I did get mine over the Adidas website and they are available over there, and they also should be available at your local Adidas stores. As of the moment, this Icee colorway as well as the Icee colorway, which is that blue, are the two colorways that are out right now. The remaining three colorways are going to be dropping throughout October, so just keep your eyes peeled if you're more interested in those colorways. So there you have it guys, that was my detailed review on the Adidas Trae Young 1. Once again, if you liked the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you haven't already yet, please do make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon for notifications. And as always, if you're trying to look for that retail dub, or trying to get yourself a new pair of basketball kicks, just keep on hunting.